Greetings, this is Freener Renanencha, half-elven YouTuber, back with part 2 of my Critical Role Campaign 3.
And welcome back.
So it's reaction.
So, as you all trek away from your evening
Critical Role,
not
being a
quite
fan,
as restful
not with any of
sleep
their
as you would
online
have hoped,
presences.
you get back onto your
There'll be a link
horseback
to the
and
YouTube
head towards the main road and begin to lead your way towards the Heartmoor itself. Beginning to transition from the thick jungles that you've been familiar with here in the Erdiran Wilds, you watch as the marshlands progressing deeper into these wetlands. The tall, robust jungle trees begin to give way to curled, draping behemoths and towering, tangled mangroves that rule this sodden and oddly beautiful landscape in its comparably dreary atmosphere. You see vibrant, deep greens mingle with the masses of gray moss to present a uniquely earthy patchwork of colors and textures along the bog-swallowed hills that surround you. Now, the main road and path, it looks like it has been continuously filled with gravel and dirt to maintain an elevated road, but even at times to the immediate right and left, it drops off into just marsh water. You can see the occasional root growing through, and there are all manner of hills that rise up beyond, but the heavy fog, which I should hit here, does choke the vision.
Is this background effect or?
Make you make Constitution saving throws for the cold.
Oh boy.
Chokes the far distant visibility beyond about 300 or 400 feet, where you can just see the shadows of distant swamp trees. Pushing forward, though, you do see this is a well-worn trek, and even maybe the first hour of your journey into the marshlands here in the Heartmoor, you can hear the distant sound of horse hooves, as what looks to be a small grouping of 4 horses and 2 carts begin to pull up alongside you. You kind of set off to the side, and you can see a group of hooded figures kind of nod as they pass on, heading southward into the wilds from where you once came. Pushing on about halfway through your day of travel.
Did they look heavily armed or anything?
Make a perception check.
Come on, I'm just gonna let them go by us, all right?
Should we at least tell them, like, watch out for fairies?
No.
No?
I'll just do one roll.
No,
15.
because that's not what it was.
Very
There were
20.
no fairies.
I know.
They don't look any more armed than people that are traversing dangerous terrain. You do not see heavy armor. You do not see mercenary attire. You see standard clothing with general travel protection, leather armor, but from what you can tell, it does not appear to be scuffed or scarred. The weapons are sheathed and are there, just as a protective mechanism, but you do not get the sense that they are,
Crazy armed.
Yeah, they do not look like they're out here with dubious intent.
Did they look they're traveling, or were they protecting like cargo?
The 2 carts that you can see traveling behind them both were covered, and you can see like thick tarps were placed over them and kind of tied down with ropes at different rivets along the way. Differing levels. You couldn't really tell what was being carried in them, but it looks like they were bringing with themselves some sort of materials, whether it be for trade or transport.
Excuse me. Anything to note from the direction you're coming from? Any dangers to be wary of?
You're shouting this as they're passing you, like
just,
this.
Yeah.
Can look back and look over at you. Stay on the road.
You too.
The fairies aren't real.
And kind of looks over. And keeps going.
That was good. Keep an element of mystery. Can't do it all for them,
I don't know.
A few hours of additional travel from there, the swamplands around you definitely start carrying more unique color. You can see maroon undertones in patches of moss and clusters of fungus that begin to show up at the edges of some of these hills. You can see kind of small cliffs that begin to rise up where swamp trees twist upward and then kind of bend down, leaving these long draping vines and boughs that leave these kind of grayish, almost lavender-colored moss-like leaves that drift down and actually touch the surface of the water and go below. You can watches. The water itself is often disturbed by fish or other things that lurk beneath. Just ripples kind of shifting outward. You, Orem, notice a little ways up ahead, there is a small, lazy trail of smoke. This little plume that is kind of drifting a little ways off the left-hand side of the road.
So veered away from the line of the road that we're on. All right. Maybe some people stopped off in that direction. You see that?
Can I see anything?
As you guys kind of get slowly closer, you begin to see, because the pathway where the road itself is on, sometimes it's very thin, and they've actually had to kind of carve out and maintain a pockmarked, perpetually challenging portion of roadway that is fighting erosion and just falling into the swamp. And you can see there's like older packed dirt versus newer, fresher dirt and gravel that's constantly being put on to maintain it. Other areas widen up and become comfortable, where it looks like either a hill has been somewhat shaved, or you actually follow the road up over towards a top hill where there is, small gatherings of trees and a semblance of more natural forest and jungle land around here before it descends back into the swamp. This area rises up slightly, and as you glance off the side of the path, you see maybe about 30 feet off what looks to be an often stopped at resting point. You can see there's an area where a few trees have been cleared. You can see there are 4 or 5 spots where it looks like small stone circles have been placed where there is blackened charcoal left behind and dirt. Looks like many camping spots are maintained in this region, and there you see a handful of horses, and it looks to be a small group of 5 figures that are currently picking up their camp, and you see one of them is currently like throwing dirt onto the fire. But the road continues onward in the direction you've been traveling.
How much farther to the Heartmoor?
One of them kind of stands up. You see a female silver scaled dragonborn. And most dragonborn you've seen are broader, but this one has a very thin, almost snake-like, lithe physicality to them.
He's a dragonborn.
Her neck is tall, and the head itself comes to this very kind of striking point. These very bright golden eyes that peer through these side slits. As the bundled hood that sits around the shoulders kind of pushes back as she stands up. You have maybe about 3 hours this way.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Did they all look like they were dressed anything remotely cloaks or anything like the people that we saw previously?
Make a perception check.
Could I use advantage for perception because I'm looking and smelling and all sorts of stuff?
You could try it. You can see if you want to smell, if they smell similar to them, but you get that advantage only as your scent of keen sense.
Okay, fine. Just a 12.
Yeah. They smell like they've been traveling for a long time and probably need a bath.
Where are you all coming from?
We are traveling from the south.
I know.
Fair day for travel. Did we come from this side?
So far, it seems the weather has been helpful. It's the kind of she smiles, the toothy grin that curls across the face, holding her hand out to gesture the lack of rain. But indeed, what about your companions? Where do you come from?
Recently, Drusar.
Very well. Well, good luck. Stay safe.
Avoid the fairies. They're not real.
Even those who are real should probably be avoided. Starts going back
Wait,
to...
what's your name? What's your name?
My name is Hutchin.
Hutchin? What a
These are my companions. And she turns back over her shoulder, and you get a kind of a closer view. The other ones are kind of keeping a little huddled away. They're a little... You get immediately the sense that some of them are not very trustful, and one of them is not even paying attention. You see what looks to be a male Qatari, but of an Egyptian cat variety, hairless, with just this kind
Why
of
couldn't
heavily
you
wrinkled
just
kind of
give 'em
gray
the
skin
same
across
names
the
as
head,
in
big pointed ears
the
off to the
books?
sides,
Matt,
and bright yellow wide
why?
eyes, and small kind of pursed cat-like nose in the front, themselves wearing a big thick leather mantle and like another bundled cloak, similar coloration as to the one that Hutchin is wearing. You can see them kind of putting a hunter's bow over their shoulder and is kind of just staring at you as their eyes narrow, kind of just inspecting each of you as they go. You see a human female who has a drum kind of tucked under the side of their travel garb, just general like travel clothing. You see them put together a hunting knife away, and you can now notice that one of the things that they're currently wrapping up looks to be a mostly cooked, partially eaten body of some sort of a jungle cat that has been like skinned, cleaned, and has been prepared for travel. So you get the sense of some sort of a hunting aspect to this troop. You do see a small male goblin as well that has a small upturned nose that's kind of wide and pressed against the center of the face, and these almost like a light pinkish color, almost red eyes that you think are bloodshot at first, but it's just kind of the coloration they have that contrasts against the almost like faint yellow-green coloration. They're just staring and picking up equipment quietly before they turn away. And you see to the very back, currently grabbing the horses and petting them and hasn't even noticed your arrival here, you see a tall female Firbolg with a big, bushy black mane of hair that just kind of comes out of her head and pours past the shoulders, and it completely, for the most part, covers her eyes. You do not see the eyes, you just see the nose and mouth kind of poking out from underneath, and it's just currently like brushing one of the horse's manes. At this point, Hutchin kind of looks over the rest of you. And you are?
Oh, my name is Fern.
Fine.
We're Bell's Hells. That rather than introducing all of us individually, we're just traveling through.
You have a name. What sort of work do you do to have a name?
We're multi-talented. It really depends on the situation. Where
Performers?
Oh, well, not particularly.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes, if the job calls for it. We could be diplomats. We could be mercenaries.
Freelance life.
Anything you want.
Jacks of all trades. That is useful.
Ironically, no guards.
There's always a chance one of us knows how to solve a problem.
Work.
And you are working within the wilds,
I'm
heading
sorry.
to the hamlet, I presume, seeing as how you're traveling along the Daldale Road.
I'm gonna throw a quick detect thoughts on maybe the Qatari.
On the Qatari?
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of like wheel up closer, and so as with any, so the components for the spell are.
Oh boy. A copper piece. I eat those for breakfast.
So there's no verbal.
Oh, verbal, somatic, and yeah, it's everything.
Yeah. So. So.
Infantile.
That's
So.
how I cast spells. When you're imagining me, that's how I do it.
So, given the fact that it is all very much kind of like no other people within visual distance in the middle of a center road in the deep portion of this solitary bog, a group of hunters that are keeping a very close eye on your troop, and you're going to begin casting this spell.
I didn't realize it was all of those things, but I've already committed.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yes.
As you begin to cast the Dragonborn, Hutchin goes, and what is this one doing?
Performing.
Who knows?
Be careful, he might break into a song. He does that sometimes.
Make a
Never
deception
know.
check.
Deception check. Or...
Might go easier if you actually start singing.
Can we give him advantage since we gave him the lie?
No.
Damn.
9.
Nine.
Can F.C.G get advantage if they actually sing right now? Sing something entertaining?
If it was anyone but Sam, I'd say yes.
Damn it.
That's too easy.
I was trying to make it work. Never mind.
The Dragonborn
Yeah.
continues to smile, but the eyes do kind of narrow for a second.
Yeah.
But you do finish completing casting the spell. So you get some surface thoughts. Surface thoughts are interesting, but I don't trust this. We should get moving. Look at the things and get moving. It's more like a protective, defensive mistrust.
What do
You want to go deeper, or are you going to keep it at that?
It lasts for a while, right?
Yeah,
A minute. And they know if you dig deeper, right?
that's right.
Yep.
So maybe I'll just wait until we're leaving before I dig deeper.
Oh my god.
Okay.
What do you all do?
We are travelers who wander these paths, taking work we're able, selling what we find as we go. Not quite as prolific as the array of skills that you have acquired, but, we find work where we can within the wilds.
What's your destination today?
Us, I believe we are heading the same direction, actually. We come to the Ardmore, not terribly often, but when the work calls us here, yes.
Well, we've had trouble on the road. I don't know if you'd mind, but certainly safer to travel together in larger numbers. I don't know if that sit right with you.
Make a persuasion check.
12. 12 plus nothing.
12 plus nothing. I'll tell you what, and I mean this in no disrespect. You look, glances over at your hammer, glances over at whatever this is.
Papa Mock.
It's not that we feel uncomfortable in the presence of mercenaries, but there is benefits in at least watching each other's back. How about we travel in tandem? A bit of distance, but we can, if one or the other needs help, we can call for aid. But just for our own edification and knowledge of how dubious some travelers can be without earned trust, keep enough distance to be comfortably apart.
I think we'd find that amenable.
Prudent but helpful. Very nice.
Very well. Is
Do
that
you
all
have
right?
anything fun for sale?
Her definition of fun gets very fascinating, I might add.
Well, we predominantly work out of Vichy, but we do travel as far south as the Kanak Gulf, within the Hellcatch Valley and up to here, and all points in between. So we do occasionally find all sorts of interesting things. And you can see the glimmer in her dragon-like eyes, the gold kind of shimmering with anticipation. What is it you find fun?
Oh, boy. Well, so many things. So many things. I don't think I could even pick one. I think I just, if you had any trinkets or, shiny things or smelly things or...
Tejana! She shuts off, and the Fearbog, who's currently in the process of brushing the horse, stops. Goes,
If she ever met Nyla,
yeah.
Nyla would no longer
What's
have
going
her spell back.
Could you bring that bracelet that we found not long ago? Okay, yeah. I'll get that bracelet for you. Hold on. I can't get it off my hand.
Would you like me to help?
Oh, God.
If you could help me
Yes.
with the bracelet.
Orm is trying to catch Fern's eyes
Are
and
you?
is silently trying to communicate. Please don't steal anything.
Let me help you.
In Fern's head, you hear, "Please don't steal anything."
So as the Furbog walks up to you, kind of hunched forward, but even so, still standing at a good 6'8", even with a slight head hunch. So kind of looming over you, the black hair just matted. You cannot see the eyes beneath. Just a little poof poking through with a big smile. Goes, "Hi, we can help me with this." And you can see as she produces her wrist, there is this beautiful cluster of beads and gems that are embedded in this kind of double wrap bracelet around the wrist. As you kind of work towards it, Hutchin goes, you seem to have got this, and just kind of stands there beside the two of you at the ready.
I can do it.
Yeah. Go ahead
God.
and make a dexterity check for me.
Oh, God. That's right.
7.
7. Okay, so you both kind of fiddle with it back and forth. There's a little bit of an odd, awkward tug of war.
A little bit.
Do you need a little bit of grease, oil?
Maybe.
The rest of the group finishes packing stuff up. All the two of them just kind of stand there next to you, reaching.
Nails.
Yeah, my nails are just so long.
We'll get that for you.
Okay.
And you can see now Hutchin reaches forward and very deftly like flicks it off, unwraps it.
That's one way to do
I
it.
don't know.
This was procured on the outskirts of Avici. It belonged to a very well-trained craftswoman who gathered all sort of strange glass beadware and intricate, small, imperfect gems, who believed that the imperfections is where true beauty is found. And as she gathered these from jewelers who wandered far and wide to craft this one piece that reminded her, or whoever carried it from that point forward, that there is beauty in that which is unrefined and uncut. Jams.
How many uncut jams are on there?
7.
Probably cut by candlelight.
I kind of agree, but I also think this whole bit.
We just officially dated this episode.
Some jokes stand the test of time.
Not this one.
No, this joke was old weeks ago. Weeks ago.
But it's okay.
We're just reviving it. Well, it's quite beautiful.
Well, it'll run you about 20 gold pieces.
Well,
It would be worth much more if you were to get them cut, but also you would be breaking the poor woman's heart who made them.
well, I don't know her.
No. Are you thinking about that?
No, well, no, I just wanted to see kind of what things you were selling.
I'll buy it.
Very well. 20
Expensive-ass
gold
charm
pieces.
bracelet.
It is very much a charm bracelet.
Now it's been a minute, but when I think when Hutchins said that they were heading our way, could I try and make an insight check to see if she was telling the truth or just deciding to follow us where?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Oh, good call. Yeah, they seem like
Just in
they
case.
make
Yeah. 16.
16.
Good luck to that.
Ooh, a little whisper.
Yeah.
Guys, D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond's back. Did you know that? They're our sponsor again.
This is uncut gems. I'm an uncut gem.
You are.
I am. I am an uncut gem.
Wow, this is a long whisper.
I thought you could cut me a time.
D&D Beyond. Wait,
Big trouble?
Big trouble.
Wait, what? Oh, Jesus. Aw. That was good, Travis. Gullible.
Oh, that's like 5 minutes away from full heart attacks. Thank you.
Of course. Perhaps when we complete some of our trade in the hamlet, we might have some more fun trinkets to bring to you to sell.
Always a fan.
Well, would you prefer that we lead the way, or?
I think so. You seem to be a bit more armed for the occasion.
We're all right.
Very well. Collect our things. I believe we're about ready. Dejana, if you don't mind. I'm almost done. I just gotta go ahead and get the saddle.
Do you need some help?
Here. I'm going. Yeah, sure. Help me.
Sure.
Thank you. I'm gonna help get the last saddle on the horse.
That's
Gotta
two
get it
big
padded.
women. Working on a horse.
I've never put a saddle on a horse, so I have no idea.
Dejana very much like, no, you're supposed. You need. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank
And then
you
you
for your
crisscross
help.
under the belly, right?
I've got it.
With the scraps.
Handle the rest of this. You're just a sweet little thing. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh no.
I'm not going to push any further with the detect thoughts, but can I just glance at all of their shoes and footwear, just to see like
If they're from Kentucky?
if the footwear is super sturdy and probably noisy on floors, or if it's more soft and creepy, like sneaky, like burglar type.
Sure, make a perception check.
Or small wooden duck feet.
Perception check?
Yeah.
23.
23. That's really good. No, they are wearing travel boots. They are rough. They are muddy. They have been. They have seen the same weather you have on this journey, and probably other journeys beyond. So these are definitely kind of rough-looking boots.
Okay. Kinky boots.
Kinky boots. Kinky boots. Got it.
Keep your eyes peeled for fairies.
Okay.
So they're going the same way.
Yeah.
You all kind of gather up, get back on your horses, and trek. And they keep about a about a 50 or 60 foot distance behind you, but do kind of travel in tandem with you along the road. You continue on for a few more hours. No major issue. No challenges, though the temperature begins to get a little warmer and muggier as the day presses on. The humidity in this area definitely surpasses that which you've experienced in some of the other regions of the Odiran Wilds. The insects are growing more intense. The mosquitoes are starting to become a serious frustration. And while the fogs usually burn away midday, here the mists just kind of settle. Where in the early morning in this region, they are the densest. But as the day progresses, they just subside slightly and then hang. But within a short time, you see the shapes of structures in the distance. And as you approach one large kind of bowing bridge that curves from the end of one hilltop to another over a 45, 50-foot channel of water that just kind of travels beneath and separates into two larger, open, kind of small lakes of bog water. You can see what looks to be an arched gate and small walls that surround what would be the southern gate ridge of the Heartmoor hamlet.
Southern Gate Ridge.
Southern Gate Ridge. All right. I'm going to write that down for some reason.
Sure, go for it.
No real reason to, but sure.
You don't know.
What color do I want to write it?
Every time I go to say Heartmoor Hamlet, my brain says Hamburger Helper.
Me too.
Yeah.
Southern Gate, what?
Southern Gate
Ridge.
You approach the front, and the gates themselves are not closed, they're open, but you do see there is stationed there a pair of wilders wearing familiar garb from what you're used to seeing in Drusar, but you can see there's a little less upkeep on them. They're a little thicker, and they seem to be more interested in just ensuring that something isn't following you from behind in the nearby bog. But as you approach, one of them kind of looks out. State your business, please.
Afternoon. We've been traveling for several days by way of Drusar and are just looking for a place to settle in for a few.
It looks.
She's with us. Yeah, not like a prisoner or anything. She's legit.
She had a really rough trip.
Went off the road. Bad idea. Never go off the road.
I turned blue.
Make a group persuasion check.
DC 25. All of us?
All of you.
Bingo,
A
bango.
group persuasion check. This is a general presentation to the guard.
Natural one.
Ooh. 17.
17.
Okay.
15.
16.
19.
8. Okay, pretty good overall.
Overall, not too bad. And this wasn't a very terrible hide. You see, this was less of a whether you get in or not, more of like if they have you tracked or not. Looks you all over. All right. Welcome to the hamlet. There are a few places to stay for the night if you're looking to put your horses up. There is the dry dog stables over that way. Please enter. And kind of just ushers for you all to continue inward.
Dry dog stables or dry dog?
Dry dock.
That's the only place to stay in town?
No, those are the
Those are the
stables.
stables.
Oh, stables. Oh,
Is there
where-
any news of the hamlet that we should know upon our entry?
I would need to get more specifics on what kind of news you're searching for.
Just any dangers or general warnings for the population, things that we should be aware of?
rules, local customs, laws, greetings?
The same laws of the Chande Quorum are maintained here. Just do not travel beyond the walls unless you are accompanied by someone who can defend you or themselves.
Sounds like a good deal, lass.
Yeah, good. No,
Any place to stay that you can recommend?
Probably the easiest place for you to look for would be within Itan Square. It is the kind of the central region of the hamlet. There you could find the Sodden Grange Inn.
Awesome. How would you spell Itan?
Sir?
E-T-A-N apostrophe S, Etan's Square.
Oh, Eton's.
Town Square.
Grange Inn.
Sodden Grange Inn.
Grange Inn. Okay.
That's
What
it.
about the museum in town? Is that-
Twilight Mirror.
Indeed, if you are here to see the Twilight Mirror Museum, you will find that also in Etan's Square on the northwestern side.
Why do you not like the museum?
Enjoy. I'm sure it will be extremely informing.
Isn't
Oh, it's boring.
Estonia here?
That's
in
probably
town
like
as
when
well?
all the tourists
Right,
come
everyone
and
asks.
buy fireworks and
The exhibits all suck.
Check the horses in and
I always like a pamphlet. If
I
you
don't
like
know,
go to the
I
right
feel like
place,
the
they've got the
museum's
wall
a
of
museum.
pamphlets. Those pamphlets are always fucking great.
sure.
You learn a lot.
Is
Better
there?
idea.
I mean, maybe. I just want to
That's
ask
right.
if there's an area of learning in this town.
In regards, I mean, there are many people who can teach trades.
Book people. Are there book people around here? People who read books. Read book readers.
There are some people who own books and read them, yes.
Do they congregate?
I don't know. I have not met many.
You need better friends. I don't know.
We're over.
He gestures around and goes, if you are looking for a book repository, we're in a fucking swamp. The books that are here are not long for Exandria.
Stable this way.
Fair.
oh, and also the folks behind us, they're okay. Let them on in. They're with us.
I mean, they're not with us.
They're with us.
They're not really with us.
They just guarded our backs as we were coming into town.
They were also irritated.
All right. Stay safe.
Me too.
Your knees.
Oh,
My God.
We never know.
We never
We're
get
always
the
out of the joke.
Gets it.
I think Seder knees are double jointed.
Oh my God. It's a massive drinking can. I mean, it's absurd.
High fantasy to the stables.
all right.
Wait, we didn't keep these horses alive, did we?
We did so far.
Trick is getting them back.
Exactly. It's about the round trip.
You can get there. It's getting them back's the really hard part.
It's not too hard to find out where the stables are. It's the only like visible livery within this portion of the city, and it's built specifically to be relatively close to the southern dock, which are the southern gates, which are it's like the primary entrance from the main road to the hamlet. You can see already there's maybe like I'd say a 4-chamber structure with the central stable area being kind of the raised upper roof area. There's no exterior kind of open front stables, but there is a fenced-off portion in the back that is partially undercover. And you can see maybe 3 horses that are currently in there just kind of chewing whatever recent meal has been given to them in small troughs. On the outside, you see, as one person is currently leaving with a horse, a small goblin, maybe about your size or so, woman with kind of long, stringy, kind of dark black hair with kind of gray and white streaks through it. It looks like it's been pulled into like 3 different ponytail kind of bumps as it goes down to just past the lower back. Work shirt on, and she ends up kind of waving to the person who leaves, turning to the rest of you. Do you need your horses put somewhere?
Yes, please.
All right. For how long?
Maybe up to a week.
Yeah, we're not
could
exactly
be
sure how
less.
long it could take.
Probably a week.
For keep and feed here, it is 1 silver per horse per night.
Wonderful.
Okay, we can scrape that together
That
for you.
seems reasonable.
Very well. I will keep them here, and we will maintain a record, and you just pay upon receipt of
25 silver.
your beast.
There. 35 silver. 5 times 5 is
5 times 7.
7 a week. I was thinking of
Business week.
yeah, business week.
Horse business.
Oh no.
Business horses.
I was thinking of, business week.
These are our
weekdays?
business horses. Just
Oh, yeah, we have weekend horses.
Sounds good. We're good for it.
All right. They go around and gather all the different bridles and take your name down, as well as the horse names, and to their ledger, and kind of prep them for being kept safely within the stables there for the week that you intend to. Though if you need to take it earlier, they can be cut earlier. But your horses are taken care of, and the rest of the hamlet is now at your disposal.
Be nice as cargo.
I
And the
would.
horse is like, gives that bright horse, a white horse eye on the side of like,
Escargot's never going to be the same.
I heard "be nice as cargo," and I was wondering what you were planning. That makes a lot more sense.
A pet heart's head and just whisper. These dreams go on when you close your eyes.
my God. I love Heart. Yep.
I love her. Okay, so we got a couple things we got to do here.
Sure.
Now, if we go to the Twilight Museum, doesn't that start the clock?
I think it's just checking in. I think would be reasonable, letting them know we're here. We don't have to start immediately. It's just we're in town. We're gonna get ourselves settled, and then we'll figure out what the fuck the rules are, what the whole
What if it
deal
starts
is.
the clock immediately as soon as we get there?
That seems insane.
What if we just book a room, ask about the people we're looking for, and go from there?
We could send a message to Yvonne and let him know that we're here instead of actually just showing up. We could just send a message.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. We'll just write in we're in town.
Okay.
Right him?
Let's send a. I got people who walk to other places and let you know.
I mean,
things.
it's
Can't we
literally
just go
right
talk
across
to
the street from the inn, but
Yeah, she was just worried that like there was like a. I don't know what this is. This isn't a thing that exists in this world. This
it
is
means
a,
start.
This is a
Thumb war.
thumb war. This could start the thumb war. Is what.
I
she's
just
worried
don't
about.
want, us to do this and then it all goes south and then the Lumos twins Astani is not here when we finish with it or something.
I was gonna let them know that we're here. We're not ready to start yet, but we just got into town.
Okay.
So that seems to be the prudent thing to do.
All right, we're gonna head towards the inn. We're gonna head towards the museum. Maybe we'll even split the party.
Oh, maybe that's what we do.
actually.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
If
Yeah.
you're not, if there's no hostels, yeah.
So, who's heading to the inn? Who's heading to the museum?
What do the people that are not going to the inn need to do?
We need to find Astani,
Uh-huh.
who is like a professor
Yeah.
or a scholar.
Boring as fuck. Okay, keep going. What else? Cool. I'm going to the inn. Who's coming with?
We also have to get word to the museum, but I guess we do
It's
that
all in
from
the same
inn.
square.
It's all in the same square.
Let's just go to the square and then
See where
We
it is.
can-
You
Yeah.
easy?
Yeah.
How many rooms?
I guess we just
I'll
gotta-
take care of it. Don't worry.
Someone please go with Chutney.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get like 4 rooms. 4 rooms.
Good movie.
That's so true. 4 rooms.
Sure.
4 rooms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We did fine with 3 the other night.
3
I just want to point
rooms.
out.
There we go.
Sure.
Sure. All right.
So Chetney is just getting us rooms.
I mean, I'll walk with you to the square, but I'll take care of the accommodations.
I'll
Don't
come to
worry.
the inn too because I don't even know where to start to find Astani.
Right, I thought we
We're
were
all going to
talking
the
to
Yeah, the barkeep.
the owner.
We're splitting the party, and both splits are going to the inn.
Right.
You could definitely buy the rooms for us. That would be
Only
much appreciated.
Do one at a time. That's all I ask. Is like get them there, then get us there at the same time.
My God.
Trying to keep a, more presentary
Yes,
Parents.
very much so.
working on it. Pull my knit beanie down a little tighter.
Swampy.
All right, so we're going to the Sodden Grange.
Sideburns.
Okay. So, walking beyond the Southgate Ridge through the somewhat moss-dappled, bog-centric structures and homesteads you see, the darkened wood themselves perpetually damp with the moisture that hangs in the air. You can see the green growth that kind of gives everything this faint verdant coloration, regardless of what materials they were originally built with. the stone bases and stone structures themselves also giving way to these kind of earthen tones as just weather and nature takes the exterior of it over time. Pushing through the somewhat muddy trekked streets and the semblance of stone that was placed here long before the descent's been slowly recaptured or sunk slightly enough into the ground where the liquid moss water and mud has seeped in and kind of reclaimed a majority of it. You pass to the other edge of this hill. And at this point you begin to realize that much of this village are these various sized hills that have been cleared off or themselves have been built upon at a higher place, and they are connected through small bridges that hang down or have land bridges that kind of are built up to connect them. The central area you see labeled by two of the small signs at different points being pointed to as Itan Square. And here you can see what happens to be a large center for business and commerce, obviously. There are dozens of large warehouses and shops that line the muddy streets, along with numerous scattered street carts and benches where farmers and crafters sell to nearby passers-by or each other. There's no one excitedly barking. This isn't such a lively town as places of Drusar, and even though you see the accommodations here, there is definitely kind of a more casual energy to those who live here.
More of a smaller town, foot traffic?
Not a lot at this hour, but you do see there's maybe a dozen or so people out in the open right now that are walking past. You can see in this kind of small kind of gathering space the number of stone tables set out, and you can see two older folk are there in the process of playing some sort of a chess-like board game while they're bantering back and forth and arguing over current events or history or whatever else you might think they'll find reason to banter over. But you kind of feel this as the comfortable social heart of the hamlet from what you've seen so far. A little bit. Glancing a little bit around, you do eventually see the sign of the Sodden Grange Inn, which is placed kind of to the northeastern side to the front of the central square here, the actual Itan Square, trying to make sure that it has enough frontage to draw in any people like yourselves who are traveling from out of town. As you approach this, it's a respectable looking inn. Doesn't have quite the grandiose presentation of like the Spires by Fire, but definitely holds a little bit of a stronger and welcoming exterior aesthetic than some of the more rough and tumble places you've stayed on lower parts of the spires in the city you just traveled from. As you step up to the front doors, you do see they do swing. They kind of woof, 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 as you step inward. And immediately you're met with familiar smells. Dried beers and alcohols on old wood. What smells like wet leather that is then dried and re-wet. You catch hints of tobacco smoke, and you do see there's an old, rough-looking fellow who's sitting at a table with both of his feet up on there, is in the process of lighting up this heavy, dark mahogany pipe that you can see is blackened at the edges from excessive use for years. His big, bushy, gray beard that swallows the bottom part of his face, holding the flame so close, you can't help but be a little anxious, but he obviously knows what he's doing. As you kind of glance, as you step inward, the man finishes kind of puffing a bit and turns around. This man, as it turns, the perspective he was at made him look a lot bigger than he was, because now that he turns, you see this is just a halfling fella. His legs were facing away, and he turns, and they're just a little shorter than you'd expect. And he kind of like steps off the stool a bit, still holding the pipe. His large ears, the hair kind of curling out the sides. Kind of takes an additional puff off the pipe and looks towards the rest of you.
Well, hello, you're certainly new here. You have the eyes and the look of individuals who've been traveling from afar and probably need a place to stay. Am I correct in my assumption?
Very observant.
See, that's how you keep a business going. So how many rooms are you looking for, and for how long?
How many? We said
How many beds do you have per room?
Three
So
rooms.
that was a lot
for
of questions. How many beds are typically in a room?
We have rooms with one bed and rooms with two beds.
Amazing. We'll take 4 rooms.
4 rooms, very well. That'll be 1 silver piece per room per night.
Amazing.
So
It's on
4
here.
silver for a week of 7. That'll be 28.
I got it.
We have cheaper stay than the horses.
Bargain.
That's an excellent point.
The horses are also being fed and tended to.
Yeah,
It's part of the package.
The Satin Grange. Is that right? Satin Grange Inn. Is it 1 level, 2 levels?
It's single level.
Single level.
In fact, you see a lot of the buildings here, you don't see many that are multiple levels. There's a handful, but most everything here is just 1 floor and is spread out a bit. And you get the sense it's probably because anything too heavy on the somewhat soft earth of these hills is likely to sink. And that mistake has probably been made more than once in the past.
I cough up 28 silver.
Thank you kindly for your patronage. Let me get your keys for you.
Brings out this key ring and slowly kind of unhooks it and sets down 4 keys on the table and points you over to the 4 rooms. They're not right next to each other. They're a bit scattered. But this inn is surprisingly robust the further back you go. It has a series of winding hallways, and altogether it probably has like 16 rooms. And you get the sense, just at the size of Iton Square, that this inn probably takes a sizable chunk of real estate here on the square itself.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Dobby. Dobby Kinsman.
Are you the owner of this establishment?
I am. Me and my granddaughter tend to it.
Dobby Kinsman?
I imagine you see everyone about town. Do they come here often?
Some do from out of town, yes. Within town, they have their own homes to get to, but some do come in for a good drink and some socializing.
I want to hang out.
Yeah.
I'll stay here.
We have a friend in town named Isha Sabonis. Is she staying here?
Sorry, Sabonis would not stay here.
Oh. Oh, what do you know of them?
She is a very wealthy individual. I have not met her myself.
Okay.
Do you know of someone named Astani?
Old Astani, yes.
Are they staying here? Or do they live here?
No, they live here, actually. Their homestead is over in the Blue Heralds Hill.
Is that far from here?
The Mosslight Manor is not far, maybe about a 15, 20-minute
Oh,
walk.
wonderful. And you said the Mosslight?
Mosslight Manor.
And he kind of gives you a description. It says, like it's a somewhat rickety, unkept house, decent size, needs some maintenance. Vines and moss, kind of a gray-brown wood coloration. Got some fungus clouding on it. Kind of hard to miss.
Thank you very
So
much.
sorry, was it Blue Light Hill and Moss Light?
Blue Heralds Hill,
Blue Heralds
and Mosslight Manor.
In Mosslight Manor?
Mosslight Manor.
Blue Heralds Hill.
Blue Heralds Hill.
Blue
Hill.
Any tips or
Moss
tricks
Light
for folk who are new in town?
I would say, for most folk here, don't be too strong in making friends. People tend to come through here with a little more, they want to earn trust, you understand.
Of course.
And we're far enough out in the middle of nowhere here that some individuals think it's a bit beyond the laws of the quorum. So don't take it to heart if folks seem a bit distant and untrusting.
What's the population like here?
Yeah.
Oh, probably in just a few thousand.
And if we wanted to send a note over to someone, can you arrange that?
I was figuring just walking over at this place. It seems a little silly not to. Do you? Couple questions. Yeah. Twilight Mirror, the Twilight Mirror Museum.
Yes.
We're gonna go there. It's gonna be
How
dark.
close is that? And what's your impression of that place and possibly its owner?
It's not terribly far. You leave the inn, immediately turn right after exiting, and follow the edge of the square and continue on the road. That path. You'll see it.
I had a funny feeling.
It's also the post office.
Don't tell me you came here for the museum.
Not directly. No, we're not to see it, just to do a little work. I suppose would be.
Very well. Just want to make sure that you didn't make the trek for nothing.
Oh no.
No, but while we're here, we should probably check it out, right? I mean, it's a It's an attraction, isn't
Tourist
it?
destination?
We're being installed.
It is very much what one considers a tourist destination. Avon is curious, eccentric. But if that's what you're into, as being a speaking automaton and whatever you are, I'm certain this is maybe up your alley. I apologize, and I do not mean to judge.
This is exactly the sort of local opinion that we were looking for. To be fair, this is you've been nothing but charming. Would love to have a quick, strong drink, personally, and I'm happy to get around for anybody else who needs a quick, strong drink. That was a long time on the road, and I don't know what you're smoking, but that is wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I grow and dry it myself, actually.
Had a funny feeling.
There's a lot of folks around here grow and dry what they can find. It's what the Hardmoor is known for. As nasty as it might look to outsiders, it tends to be home to harbor a much vibrancy in the various herbs and plants that wouldn't find life and home in other places here in Marquette. So,
well, if you find yourself with a little extra, I'd love to grab a little sample at some point. If you have a little extra, happily pay for it.
Tell you what, if you have your own pipe, and he kind of pulls out his bag and tucks out a little handful and just kind of puts to you.
Not with me, but definitely.
Find yourself one. And
You need a pipe?
Ooh.
God. Give me a minute.
That's some fine wielding you've got there.
Don't distract me.
He's a talent. Yeah, and drinks all around for any. Let me know what it.
He might also wield.
Just to chill.
Drinks will be
I
done,
got the
of course.
impression he was
Thank
interested in wood carving as well.
So,
I would love to head on over to Estani's. I mean, if that's not something you're...
Yeah, I have nothing else to do in town except that, and then help out Ashton. So, no time like the present.
Good weather.
Are we swinging by the museum?
I do want to see this place now that
We
they've
just pop
talked
in and
about
tell
it
them
so
we're
much.
here. We'll get a,
It really
yeah.
has.
Just get a look at it, touch base.
Let them know we're here. I'm sure they got to call everybody in to start this thing,
Sure.
so we'll just let them know that we're in town. So,
Yep.
and then we'll take care of your stuff. Perfect.
so what's the plan? You're going to...
We're gonna go to
I'm gonna swing by
the weird
museum.
place,
Quick drink. What do I owe for the drinks, by the way?
Twilight Museum.
the drinks across the table, we'll say 2 silver.
I want one.
Economies in D&D are so strange. There we go.
Indeed.
Didn't we go to like the Austin Weird Museum or something?
Yes, we did.
Museum of Weird?
Yeah.
We've got like 3 of them in town too, of like weird ass.
Wait, Imogen,
Curiosity.
did you need to go anywhere?
I just really want to see Estani's.
We can go there first.
No. I mean, we're in the square.
Upset. What's wrong?
I'm fine.
Gee, you look a little blue. I'm just trying to cheer you up.
Wow. That was impressive.
Well, we'll be back later this evening. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I made that a couple hours ago.
And if I'm not here, my granddaughter is, and she can help you.
What's her name, just so we know?
Her name is Parmi.
Pardon me?
What
Parmi.
was it?
Pardon me?
Parmi, kinsman.
Pardon me.
Pardon me.
I'm just wondering if anyone's gonna make a Parmesan joke at some point.
By the way, Ash.
I assume we're walking towards the most gaudy, ridiculous Venice Beach curiosity shop in the direction that he pointed as humanly possible.
You're not entirely wrong.
I had a funny feeling.
Following the path along here, you go past the multitude of shops that range from probably once beautiful in presentation that eventually have just been maintained enough to function, but the moss and mildew just kind of builds up, and generally all bright colors kind of are pulled back to a universally muted variation to some very, very simple locations, some homesteads and abodes and hovels that are crammed between. There are some, on the outskirts of some of the roads, you can see clusters of neighborhoods of simple thatched roof buildings, and you can see families kind of gathering out and going to gather food and whatever sort of supplies they need for the coming days or weeks. Heading down the northwestern road, which is what you were directed towards the pathway shows it's a bit tight initially, and you can see other structures and warehouses and buildings that you're uncertain as to what their purpose is. But to the left, you see a section where the consistent buildings stop, and there is a very tall metallic gate, or a fence line that comes around to a gate with metal kind of separation pillars that are situated about every 5 feet between. They come to these very tall, thin pikes. And you can see a small courtyard that is wrapped around a almost cylindrical estate, as opposed to some of the other generally standard square or rectangular buildings. This has a continuation in its curvatures. At the corners, what would be considered the corners of the structure, the walls themselves are somewhat curved, and at each corner lot there is a small tower or a parapet that rises up above it, where everything has this kind of curved, organic sense to its build. And it was once beautiful, but you can see itself is also starting to give in to the greenery as nature slowly claims all elements of stone in this vicinity. The front yard, what little yard there is from gate to actual front of building, which is about 15 feet or so, is wildly overgrown with all number of plants, some that look indigenous to this area, some that definitely are not, and are either thriving or have long been dead and have not been weeded. And you can just see just this spectrum of textures and colors of all manner of plant life that just create this visual representation of like the best scary Halloween house at the end of the neighborhood yard. The shit that the Goonies ran from when they were scared. This house definitely stands out like a sore thumb.
Is that what we're looking for?
I mean, yeah.
Let's find out.
Sure.
You walk up into the front gate of it, and you can see there is an elevated placard that is based in bronze, and on the sides of each there's a small glowing gem that just kind of pulses with this like faint purplish hue that goes to blue, and then back to purple. And in the middle you see, across it, Twilight Museum, Hydroga Emporium and Estate. And an iron gate sits heavily at the direct front.
Jesus, I thought Gianna was gaudy. All right, I'm gonna push it open to see what happens. Or knock at least, I guess.
Okay. It is a kind of a metallic gate that is affixed with a series of bars. You can see through it. You can try and knock on the metal, and you go look over, and there is kind of a hanging metallic bell, it looks like, and you can kind of lift it up and bang it against the metal gate itself, and kind of like ding, 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 ding. It's a little awkward, but it makes a unique sound at least. A moment passes.
Just like us.
A few moments pass, and you, Orem, Fern, Laudna, and Fresh Cut Grass, you all notice that, first you notice that all the windows curtains are closed on them. And there are windows all throughout this odd kind of rising estate. This is one of the few buildings that's not just 2 stories, but it's 3 stories. And it looks like it's trying to be a small castle. It has very like putt golf vibes to it in some ways, but is a respectable size of an estate, especially compared to other buildings. But all the windows are shuttered curtains, and you see one curtain in the upper left-hand side kind of open, and a figure looks out, and then it shuts closed.
I think someone's home.
Give it another like 60 seconds. I deal with a lot of eccentrics. Sometimes it takes them a minute. I'm gonna ring a couple more times. I'm gonna make it. Oh, never mind.
About 60 seconds later, the front door opens, and you see emerging from the interior 2 guards that look like they're in the process of putting their armor on, kind of emerge as they kind of push past, and you see as a male elf emerges. His body tall and spider-like in its thin waifishness, wearing what looks to be this bright, like flamboyant red and gold coloration to it. The mantle itself kind of extending in this wide, almost raised neck mantle that comes to almost Doctor Strange type points, but almost beyond the shoulders themselves. It gives him this very like tapered V, like a martini glass of a figure, looking at it. It is beautifully kept, and this elf, as you get closer, probably more half-elf as you get a glance at the features, as they look like they're taking to age not quite as gracefully as many elves do. You can see the gray heavily set in within the long, intricately manicured sideburns that go just to the bottom of the chin. You can see this carefully, very thinly kept mustache that comes out in a John Waters-esque kind of pencil stash that then curls into like a thin Hogan, if you will. The brows themselves are thick and pulled up into points on each side to almost match the points of the neck piece. And you see all manner of jewelry and gems and rings encrusted around the fingers and necklaces upon necklaces upon necklaces. As he steps down the stairs, like kind of looking over you all with this smile crooked on the side, and then the cloak goes out, and you can see beneath the robe itself this extremely bright silver robe that almost seems to glitter in what light is coming through in the somewhat cloudy day. He stands out like the sorest of thumbs against the vicinity of this entire town. But as you approach, as you stand there watching, and he approaches his arms out, "Welcome, everyone, to the Twilight Museum. So, are you wanting a half-day pass, or are you looking for the full presentation?"
Well, actually, funny enough, we were sent here by your dear friend, Gianna Hexam.
You're who she sent.
Well, she's an eccentric, and she likes her representatives to be the same.
Curious. Well, unfortunately, that means you're not here for the tour.
Not yet. Perhaps later?
Maybe after this, though, if you do your job properly and succeed, maybe you'll have carved your own tour of the premises.
Yeah, we might want to take the tour regardless, especially before everything starts. We've had a very long journey.
Oh,
we're
no,
hoping to.
you're not to see the interior.
Really?
If you're going to shoot, and like shoos the guards off, and they kind of like, they just finished getting their armor on, like, oh,
yeah, that's
and they
right.
go back inside.
Yeah. That's right.
If you are to be part of this incursion, this competition, if you will, then you have to go in blind.
Have they gotten the tour?
Who?
The others.
They haven't arrived yet.
How do you know?
Because they would have made themselves known.
What if they... Have you had any tour groups?
Always, constantly, but...
Is he lying?
Inside check.
Yes.
Make an inside check.
4.
15. Come on. Oh, I get a whisper out of it.
Oh, shit. It was beautiful.
I wonder if we've met the other group.
Oh, wait, Sam's getting a
Tarot
whisper.
cards.
D&D Beyond guys.
Dib on.
Um,
You got the D&D Beyond whisper.
Captain Perfect World.
Luck.
The
Shoes.
The buzz of Matt's beautiful voice in my ears. It's just so comforting. It's nice.
Well, now I wish we would have lied. I really feel bad about that now.
You're a bad liar.
I am, to be fair, a really bad liar. It's true.
You do it a lot.
I enjoy it. I'm just not very good at it.
Regardless, it is good to know that you've checked in. Well, I do believe they are supposed to be arriving not too far behind the rest of you if the missives have been consistent. So, once they've checked in, where are you staying?
We're over at the Sodden Grange.
Very well. I'll go ahead and send notification when all has been situated, and then we will progress this little interesting event the midnight of the day thereafter.
It sounds perfect. We have a little bit of work to do in town. Want to do some shopping and otherwise see the sights.
Very well.
What item are we allowed to know what will be?
It'll be discussed before things are to begin. The preparation is meant to be maintained in mystery.
So we'll get on our way, I suppose, at this point. Just let us know. And on a personal note, Mr. Hytroga, I believe, is that it?
Mr. Hytroga.
Mr.
Yvonne
Hytroga.
Hytroga.
Do you prefer Yvonne?
Mr. Yvonne Hytroga.
Mr. Yvonne Hytroga. It's been fabulous meeting you, and I love all that. That's a lot of fun.
You have quite a delightful ensemble there. What is your name?
Ashton.
Ashton
Greymore.
Ashton Greymore. Very well. I do wish you luck.
Exciting.
Do you have any tips?
Yes. Walk carefully. Be careful. Be safe. And if something scares you, run.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is going to be fun! Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
All right, well, I think we just want to rest up.
Well, let's go see if we can find a stay.
My apologies before you leave here. And I don't mean to presume, but when I had heard of a recent unfortunate break-in with our mutual friend, I was told that one of these burglars had fallen and taken quite the hit on the head. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to presume.
Oh, no. I'm just always curious where that sort of rumor starts. It's always fascinating.
Indeed.
I may inquire where you heard that at some point after we have impressed you.
Good. I like being impressed. Well, now, sure, you're not paying customers. I'll let you know when the rest of this arrangement has arrived, and we'll take it from there.
Well, looking forward to stealing from you.
How is it you are speaking?
You know, I don't actually honestly know.
Fascinating. How much for your automaton?
No, why is
No, we've established my worth, right? Wasn't it like 20,000?
What's the
It's a
usual
lot.
price?
Oh,
Well, I would want to ask what the asking price is from
So far, it's
your
was it 20?
well, no,
He's
the
not
other
for
one
sale.
was
He's
20.
priceless.
2,000 platinum.
He's self-owned,
see how well
and
you do in this
therefore
game to come. Maybe I'll be inspired.
How much do you cost?
Oh, you could not afford me, honey.
All right.
Anyway, good luck. Rest well.
Thank you.
Inside.
Damn, that was the best presentation. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just want to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we are looking for the Moss Light Manor, correct? We're looking for this time.
Yes, and Blue Heralds Hill.
Alrighty. Doesn't take too long to gather some directions from locals and guide you to the Blue Heralds Hill. It's kind of nestled on the eastern edge of the hamlet, so you have to backtrack a bit and then head to the east side of the city, which from your guys' perspective would be this way. But you come to the Heralds Hill, which is a wider neighborhood of smaller, networked roads and densely packed homes that surround a squat hill that harbors a number of modest temples. There's an open garden of odd plant life, also gathered from regions beyond the Odiran Wilds, and even just beyond the Harpmoor, that are all kept well here in contrast to the grounds surrounding the Twilight Museum. But you do see an outdoor amphitheater, some rare flowers.
Stop it.
Gesundheit. I love that
So good.
so much.
So mean.
Damn it. We're gonna get to a live show one day. Somebody's gonna sneeze, and the whole place is gonna go, "Stop it!"
I hope so.
I hope so. The second they announced
Is anyone proficient in nature?
they announced a live show, it's the second I write.
No.
Are you? No way.
I have
Not to the cast, but to the crew.
All right. Then you continue
I
your
have-
journey past the amphitheater.
Nobody knows nature.
So perhaps if I get one of them in London.
You do see a lot of blue flowers everywhere.
So
Help.
blue.
Oh, are they like the blue flower that we
I've
took
got
from
on
the?
my belt.
Yeah.
No, quite different. The softer, more of a sky blue coloration to them, but they grow quite abundance here in this region of the city. In fact, in kind of the garden area here near the amphitheater, there's like many clusters of them, and it gives this very kind of beautiful, almost this area doesn't belong within this town, yet here it remains. And you can see why this is kind of an area where a lot of folks tend to turn them into more of a residential space. But eventually you do come upon, indeed, the manor that was described to you. The house itself is a little ramshackle, but still cozy. You can see it needs some work. A lot of the wood is starting to bow and split in places. The roof structure itself, one of the roof corners appears to be slightly listing to one side a bit, or at least is starting to bow over. And you get the sense of like whoever lives here doesn't have much of an interest in maintaining the architecture, at the very least from an external standpoint. You can see the windows that are here are clouded with fungus. Like it has this kind of this very kind of just clouded gray-white aesthetic to it, and at the very edges of it, where the glass itself is separate, you can see that same coloration turns into like a brown gray mold that continues around the windowsill that surrounds it. This is an older building. This has been here for a long time. But there are two newer doors that appear to have aged better than the rest, or at least have been a more recent entry, that have like a reddish coloration to them, a stain. But you can see the moisture has caused the stain to run a bit, so the whole door has those like streaks across it, or the color seems to shift and change, giving this almost this like subtle striped visual to it. And there is just a metal knocker on the door.
Imogen, darling.
Ging, ging, ging.
Orem's got it.
Do you need any help in there?
You all right?
Yeah, I just this person might have, the pages possibly that talk about my mother. I don't know. I just felt so overwhelmed as soon as we got into town. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize to you.
Might be very emotional. This is also like the Loomis twins, and
Yeah.
you've always been quite the empath. So I just want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm just gonna hold her hand for a second and cast Enhance Ability and give her Eagle's Splendor.
What?
Advantage on charisma checks.
She has blue feathers now.
It doesn't take too long for the sound of multiple locks undo on the door. And it opens up, and you can see the locking mechanisms on here, and the doors are new. And the mechanisms are new, like they've been installed recently. Behind the door, peering through carefully, you see an older man, probably in venerable years, older even than the gentleman you were renting your inn from. You can see balding with long wisps of fine silver hair kind of drift beyond the edges of the scalp. You can see the skin itself is a blue-gray tint, and the skin weathered with age and travel. They appear immediately to be Unia of Orc and Elvish heritage. The long pointed ears, the very defined orcish nose, thinner and more fine bone structure. It's a very graceful age that the Unia find at this point. This kind of beautiful combination of the two, orc and elf physicality. You see a warm smile creep across their face as their one kind of clouded cataract eye sits next to the striking deep emerald green of the other. You see them kind of pulled together in this warm, if somewhat dirty robe that they keep kind of clutched around their neck.
Might I help you?
Hello. We've come a very long way. We're just in from Dressar today, in fact, and we've come looking for Istani. You wouldn't by any chance be him, would you?
I am indeed Istani. Yes.
Excellent. We're here at the behest of Oshad Brescio.
His face drops, grim, and you can see in but a moment that a lot of memory and emotion kind of strikes behind those eyes. Before they close, there's a nod, and then the smile returns.
Then you are indeed friends. Well, whatever journey you took to get here, I imagine was not easy. So, come in. I will make some tea, and let's get to know each other.
That would be amazing.
Turns and opens the door, and you can now see the kind of the warm, cluttered, not quite hoarder interior, but definitely an individual who collects a lot of things and doesn't quite know where to put them or how to put them back. An organized chaos through this room. And to play off of what you heard from Dobby earlier, or not Dobby, sorry, the guard you spoke to, this is probably one of the places where many of the town's books are kept, as you see piles and piles and piles of them.
Come. It's warmer and drier within.
I'll file in.
You all step into the warm interior to have this conversation with Istani. Thoughts and questions gathered. We'll go ahead and stop there tonight.
Oh.
We'll pick up there next time.
But Laura wanted to talk to...
No.
Let's have some time to write down our questions and figure out.
Give you some time to think on it too between episodes to like really, because this could be a sizable conversation, could be a short conversation, and we're also presumably going into a
Battle?
I was reading wrong.
yes, you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight the old guy. If there's anything we've done, is we know that you guys like battling old people. But to go into a possible burglary, give a little bit of time to think and prep on that. We'll pick up from this entry in conversation next time.
Woo!
So yeah,
Fun. Let's do it again.
excited indeed. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. We love you very much. And is it Thursday?
And you'll see me sooner. We continue trying to make more videos. I will be continuing to make more videos throughout this, so you'll definitely see me sooner. And hopefully I'll be able to actually post a proper reactions for my Dungeons and Dragons dudes, Dungeons and Dragonheim campaign. And hopefully maybe even I can actually finally do my Vox Machina. Just gotta make sure I have all proper protection from copyright infringement. I thank you for joining me. This is Free in the Everyday Dementia, the half-elven YouTuber, and I wish thee good fortune on the quest of life.